Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unravel the biological mystery of how a simple lack of sleep cascades into systemic chronic disease. Have you ever wondered why, after just a few nights of tossing and turning, your whole body feels completely off? Well, it's not in your head, it's actually in your biology. Let's get right into it. So, to start knocking down these dominoes, we really have to ask ourselves, what exactly is the biological mechanism connecting a restless night to severe long-term health issues? We've all experienced that crushing fatigue and brain fog, right? But the science reveals a much deeper, frankly, more dangerous undercurrent happening right beneath our skin. And because of that, we absolutely need to stop viewing insomnia as just a frustrating annoyance. A mere inconvenience that an extra cup of coffee can fix. Instead, we have to start recognizing it for what it truly is. The catalyst for a massive, systemic health threat. It's actually an independent, self-perpetuating disorder that fundamentally alters our internal chemistry.
Section 1. Meet the HPA axis.
The prime suspect in our biological detective story is a network deeply embedded in our brains and bodies called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, or HPA axis. Think of it as your body's ultimate internal alarm system and thermostat. To put it simply for all of us, it's the main communication line between your brain and your adrenal glands, those little organs sitting right above your kidneys. Now, it's perfectly designed to release a surge of energy so you can handle sudden threats, like, say, running from a bear. But unfortunately, this absolutely vital system gets stuck in the on position when you're sleep deprived. Let's look at how this builds step by step. First, the hypothalamus in your brain senses stress and releases a hormone called CRH. Second, the pituitary gland catches that signal and transmits the alarm by releasing ACTH. And finally, the adrenal glands receive that message and just flood your entire system with the stress hormone cortisol. It's a highly efficient 1-2-3 punch of physiological arousal.
Section 2. The vicious stress cycle.
Okay, now that we know how the alarm works, let's explore what happens when it never shuts off. This is where a few bad nights of sleep evolve into a continuous loop. See, there's a direct, bidirectional communication between the HPA axis we just defined and the autonomic nervous system, which is the system controlling your heart rate and blood pressure. Chronic stress creates a relentless feedback loop. Your sympathetic nervous system triggers the fight-or-flight response, releasing adrenaline, which in turn tells the HPA axis to pump out even more cortisol. They literally feed off each other. The crucial point here is captured perfectly in the research. When your sleep is objectively fragmented, your plasma cortisol and ACTH levels don't drop at night like they're supposed to. Instead, they stay elevated all day long. And this relentless activation puts insomniacs directly in the crosshairs of major medical comorbidities, not just mental disorders. Section 3. The cascade effect, headaches and pain. So let's systematically look at the dominoes falling. When your internal alarm is blaring 24/7, your body becomes incredibly sensitive. By altering neurotransmitter systems and causing what doctors call central sensitization, a dysregulated HPA axis significantly lowers our pain threshold. This direct state of heightened reactivity contributes to a startling list of clinical disorders. We're talking about everything from severe migraines and tension-type headaches to mood disorders like depression and even neurological conditions like ADHD and Parkinson's disease. In fact, to put the sheer scale of this into perspective, nearly 70% of individuals experience stress as a direct trigger for migraine attacks. 70%! And why is that? It's because chronic elevations in glucocorticoids modify the synapses in the pain modulatory regions of the brain, which actively diminishes your body's natural ability to fight off pain. And all of this creates a vast web of consequences. Insomnia drives HPA axis hyperarousal, which branches out to disrupt crucial communication circuits in our brain. It alters dopamine systems tied to Parkinson's and restless leg syndrome. It disrupts serotonin systems deeply linked to migraines and depression, and it completely scrambles our adrenaline. It really is a total systemic disruption. Section 4. Systemic impact, heart health and aging. But this stuck alarm system doesn't just trigger pain and mood disorders. It has a profound, measurable impact on our heart. Studies show that a sleep duration of fewer than 5 to 6 hours is associated with a 15% increased risk of an incident stroke, and when short sleep is combined with actual insomnia, the risk for coronary heart disease just skyrockets. Furthermore, this chronic state of hyperarousal absolutely wreaks havoc on our metabolism. Individuals with chronic stress disorders, meaning that HPA axis is firing nonstop, exhibit a staggering 60% higher susceptibility to type 2 diabetes. Why? Well, because elevated cortisol promotes gluconeogenesis, essentially raising blood glucose levels to give you energy to fight that imaginary bear we talked about earlier. Over time, that constant blood sugar spike leads straight to insulin resistance.
Perhaps most astonishingly, though, this relentless chemical flood damages us on a microscopic level, causing a phenomenon known as stress-induced premature senescence, or SIPS. This is a biological process where excessive cortisol literally forces our cells to age faster, suffer DNA damage, and experience mitochondrial dysfunction. So we aren't just feeling older when we don't sleep, our cells are actually aging at an accelerated rate.
Section 5. Breaking the feedback loop. All right, we've seen the extensive damage this stuck alarm can cause, from migraines to cellular aging. But the great news here is that we can actively counterbalance this loop and protect our health. We can use targeted, non-pharmacological interventions like cognitive behavioral therapy, biofeedback, and relaxation techniques. Now, these methods don't just feel good. They scientifically train the autonomic nervous system to calm down, which in turn tells the HPA axis to stop flooding the body with cortisol, reestablishing a healthy baseline. Since we now know that a good night's sleep is the ultimate biological reset button for the HPA axis, the true key to preventing this domino effect of chronic disease, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to carry with you today. If your internal alarm system is ringing, what will you do tonight to finally turn it off? Take control of that thermostat, protect your cells, and prioritize your rest. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. I hope you walk away with a powerful new understanding of your biology.